let's begin. So today what we are going to be doing is we're going to be doing listening skills.
Okay,
Right.
all right.
Yeah.
And I guess that's something that's very important because at times all we do is, we speak and we don't listen.
Very
And
true.
right, and I guess there's a distinction between hearing and listening as well.
Yes, there
So
is.
it's really important to understand the difference, right?
Yeah. And I feel like, okay, we already have questions coming. So, guys, let's just start a little bit and we'll answer the questions. The reason why we're doing listening skills, like you said, Ananya, is because a lot of people think that because we have ears, listening is involuntary. It just happens, but it doesn't. There's a difference between hearing and listening. And I think I'm one of those people who are very good at voluntarily switching off, paying attention. So that's why we are doing something today because there are people that cannot listen even if they want to. They don't pay attention as much as they want to. So these skills would definitely apply to them. So that's exactly why we're doing this today. All right.
All right.
So
Okay.
let's just start with our first step altogether. Okay.
All right,
The
coach.
first thing that you need to remember when you're listening is what a lot of people do not understand is eye contact. Okay. You have to be very, very attentive and you need to provide eye contact to the person that you're listening to. So, for example, let's say me and you are talking and I'm trying to speak to you, all right? And I just do not look at you at all. I'm literally looking at a different direction. How would that make you feel as someone who I'm communicating with?
I think that will make me feel really bad because then I'll think that, you're not having a conversation with me. You're just speaking randomly and I'm just sitting here. So
Exactly.
I'll feel unwanted in a way.
Exactly, that's exactly. So when we don't make eye contact with the person, we're not even sure that if they're talking to us, you know? So guys,
Right, right.
definitely, if you want to listen to someone, you definitely need to make eye contact with them. And let's bring about a situation. Let's say you're in two different rooms of a house and you're yelling and you're trying to communicate. We all yell, we're like, what do you want to eat today? Or whatever it is. But the second the conversation gets interesting, don't you feel like suddenly you're in the same room,
I guess maybe could
right?
you just elaborate a
For
bit more on
example,
that one?
let's say you're having a conversation and then suddenly the conversation becomes more detailed. Okay, it becomes more intense, more important. When the conversation takes that step from a normal conversation to an important conversation or detailed or interesting conversation, don't you feel like you need to be in front of the person,
Right.
right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
you're in the
Right.
same room. Don't we find
Right.
ourselves
Right.
walking towards the room for better communication? So that is where
Right.
you can tell that your body itself craves eye contact. You need
Right.
to, if you want to listen to someone, you need to look at them and pay attention to them. Now, let's read some comments and questions because I see so many.
Um,
Let's start.
I
Yeah.
think the questions related to board infinity, I can answer them. So, guys,
Hmm.
if you have dropped us a DM and we haven't responded yet, so just give us a little more time. I'm pretty sure that the team is already in the process of contacting you. And for those who want to, learn about how to crack an interview, we've done quite a lot of videos at Alpha Board and even at Board Infinity on the same. So, just feel free to go and have a look at them too. Right.
Okay. Someone said, why are you giving importance for English? You are not Indian. Okay. So I think what this person is trying to say that, we are Indian, but why are we giving importance to English? And I do understand with some people who aren't native English speakers, this question might arise. Um, the thing is, the way the world works currently, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, that we have one uniform form of communication, and that is English. And that is why we're giving importance because now a lot of people who are getting into jobs and getting into, interviews and whatever it is, we're talking to college students, we're talking to people who've finished postgrad, undergrad, they require this help in, getting a job and working at an MNC and making a career out of their lives. So that's why we're doing English communication and why we have these courses at Alpha Board. Um, so yeah, a lot of people are saying hi. Yes, we say hi back. All right. Oh, I think there's another comment, Ananya.
I have called on the number in the bio. Guys, due to some technical issues, there could be some problem. But I'm sure that if you drop us a DM again, or if you have already dropped us a message, just be a little more patient with us, and we will definitely get back to you. And to those who are, asking for the details about the course and that you want to learn English, just feel free to drop us a message on Alpha Board as well. So our team is available on both the platforms, and if we are late in replying, our apologies for that, but we'll definitely get back to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think someone else said, when I don't know any topic in detail, then what can I do at that time? Yes. So your question is, when you don't know a topic in detail, how are you supposed to pay attention to what is happening? I think when you don't know something, I think you should try to listen even better. You should try to heighten your listening senses when you don't know something to try to understand. And these tips are not only about listening, but it's also about like how your listening can be effective in knowledge. So do pay attention to the next few tips. So the next tip that we have for today is be attentive but relaxed. So for me personally, constant eye contact makes me uncomfortable. It's something that is way too intimate, and I just can't do it. I can't do it with my family members, nothing. So, for those people who struggle just like me, guys, when you're listening to someone, you don't always need to stare into their eyes. You really don't. A way that I would say is start with eye contact, but yeah, you don't need to look at them, but definitely be attentive. So, you can look at other directions. You can look at a lot of people look at their hands, whatever it is, but always look back. The reason now, what does attentive mean? Attentive essentially means that you need to be present. You need to pay attention. You need to direct yourself in a way that you know what is happening in the conversation. A lot of times you don't need to always have eye contact, but you know exactly what's happening. Another way you know you're being attentive is when someone asks you a question and you listen to them and you have an answer ready. That's when you know that, okay, I'm paying attention. So, those who struggle with listening, I completely understand. Keep it in your head that, whenever someone asks me something, I should be able to be ready to answer. Right? So, you should have that mind control thing that, I should listen to what's happening. All right. The third one is to keep an open mind. All right. So I'd like to ask you a question. When we argue with whoever we argue, there are times where we just don't care about what they have to say. Okay. And that is why we struggle to listen, right? So I'm asking you, let's say you're in an argument with someone. What goes on through your head when you're in that peak mode of arguing?
I think I do shut myself off. I
Yes,
try not to listen to them anymore because, in my opinion, I am right. In their opinion, they are right. So it's kind of a bad situation, and I'm trying
yeah,
to understand your point here that we need to
exactly. Yeah,
actually listen to the other person and
yeah,
be, unbiased in our opinions.
exactly. So one way to actually listening means something's going in your head. So one way to actually listen is to keep an open mind. This could not only be in an argument. I think in any aspect of life, I think we always go ahead and say that, oh, I know this, or oh, in your head you already have formed an opinion, but that actually stops you from effective communication, guys. Like, you actually don't understand something fully if you don't keep an open mind. So when you're open to new things and different things, you actually learn a lot, and you see this difference. It's easier said than done. And it could be something so simple as just to keep an open mind. And I feel like when you're listening to this, you're probably thinking, okay, but it's such a small deal. Why is she talking about it? But when you actually see the difference between being narrow-minded and open-minded, you understand so many new things. So definitely keep an open mind when you're trying to listen. Okay.
I think
Now,
even
yeah,
at the workplace, it's very relevant
yes,
because at times we think that the ideas that we are giving, they're the best. But
yeah,
once we start listening to other ideas and we start, accepting their opinions on a certain topic, we realize that, okay, there are things through which we can make this thing better. So
yeah,
definitely listening is a
exactly.
great thing here to do through.
Exactly, exactly. So, next is a lot of people, the reason why they struggle with listening, like one of the comments said, we don't know the topic, is because they don't do this one thing, and that is called visualization. Visualization is essentially when you try to picture what the speaker is saying. So that's also when you know you're listening. When you actually try to visualize what is happening, you know that information is being fed into your head and you're actually picturing, like, for example, if I say something like, the cat is going downstairs and you picture like a cat going downstairs, like that's when you know you're listening. And this is a tip that helps in trying to understand what you're hearing. So let's say someone is saying something to you. If it's this has actually helped me personally a lot in school. A lot of the things used to just go over my head when I wasn't interested in it. Compared to when you actually visualize what the teacher is saying to you, I feel like there's also a thing about you don't forget. You listen and you don't forget. So definitely, I think try to picture what you are saying and don't spend time like trying to just, I feel like a lot of times we picture what we say and we just understand, like we got it. But another way of listening that will help in English communication for learners who are learning English is repeat what you've heard. Okay, repeat what you are, saying and repeat everything. So that's also one thing. After you visualize, repeat it. You've said it, you've visualized it, write it down. Perfect. You just, you just taught yourself something new. All right, we have a lot of comments.
We have a question. It's how can we remember things for a longer time? So
Hmm.
I think you just said visualization could be one way to do it.
Writing.
Yeah.
Writing could be another thing. A lot of people try to mug. I say don't mug at all. Mugging is one thing that is such a myth. I've been a victim of mugging. I have mugged like all the information that I can for exams. But right after my exam is over, for some reason, it's like I always say it like mugging is like after you've written your exam, it's like you've thrown up everything that you've learned. So a way of really remembering for me has always been writing, saying it out loud. And another one would definitely be try to understand it in your own words and try to explain it to other people. Um, Research has also shown that the best way of learning is to teach. So I remember when I was younger, I used to put stuffed toys and learn like the tables, like nines tables, eight tables, like the multiple tables. So that was one way of learning. All right. Someone asked me if I can speak Bengali. Yes, I can. I can. Yes. Okay. A lot of people are asking, yes, how do we remember things? Um, yes, all right. So the next point would be, okay, this happens a lot as well. When we're doing communication and you always think that the other person is wrong and you have better solutions. Um, and we interrupt them, right? What happens in that situation when we constantly interrupt someone? What does that lead to you?
Um, I think there's like a break in our thought process or in the person's thought process who's actually speaking. So I personally think if I am interrupted again and again, I just completely forget what I was saying and
I
like
get irritated.
exactly an add-on
I get,
bonus
I,
would be
yeah,
that I will be so irritated that I'll just stop speaking because I'll think that the other person is more interested in putting their points forward rather than actually listening to what I have to say.
exactly. And it's also disrespectful. And when you try to kind of impose your solutions, it basically is communicating to the other person that you don't really care how they think, you know, and you're not
Right.
really listening to them. Another reason why people impose their solutions is because they don't have an open mind. And when you constantly try to talk, how are you going to listen? You know,
Right.
how are you going to listen? So definitely try not to impose your solutions and first listen to what the other person is saying. After they are done with whatever they have to say, then say, okay, this is what I think. Would you, first of all, like to know any of my opinions and solutions? Because some people
Right.
don't want to know, like, some people just want you to listen and just end it there, you know? So definitely ask, like, okay, do you want to know how I feel about this? That would be definitely something that should be adopted. Next, another part about not interrupting is when the speaker is talking, wait for them to pause before you say something. A lot
Right.
of people don't wait for that pause. That's a very essential part of communication, you know, that pause that happens, and then you can say something. I feel like when we're having a conversation, we keep saying, okay, can I say something? Okay, can I say something? And it's like, just wait for that, you know, brief silence to say something. And I think I've learned that a lot in school. Don't you think in college, when the teacher is saying something or when a student is saying something and you have a point to add, or a group discussion during interview rounds. This is another tip. When you're doing group discussion and interview rounds, listening is as important as speaking and contributing to the group discussion. So definitely listen and definitely wait for someone to stop speaking for you to, you know, impose your ideas. Next
Right.
one. Next one is kind of, it's not really going against my previous point, it's supporting it in a way that I'm saying is ask questions, ask doubts. um when I'm speaking to someone and someone asks me doubts, I feel like they're listening to me. I feel like, okay, this person is actually paying attention. What do you think when someone asks you doubts and questions?
I think I feel the same way
The
because
same way.
that in a way shows that okay they listen to me because that is the reason why they have a doubt.
A
Otherwise they
doubt or
would
a
be like
question,
yeah okay fine and that's
right?
it that.
And I think a lot of people, the reason why they don't ask questions, and I completely understand that, is because a lot of people don't appreciate being asked questions. Haven't you been in that situation where you've asked
Right.
someone a question and they say, why are you asking me such a stupid or dumb question? And you're like,
Right.
hello, okay,
I thought the question was legit
yeah,
from
like,
my end.
yeah, and like I thought that this was genuine. Like, don't belittle
Yeah.
my question, you know?
Right.
So, someone who does that, don't. Don't do that. That's rude and that's very disrespectful. And that's why many of these communication errors and listening errors happen, is because people are listening, but because they don't know what's happening and they can't ask questions, they don't continue to listen. That flow of listening gets disrupted. You know what I mean? Because they don't know what to visualize, they don't know what to think about something. So, definitely, if someone's asking you a doubt, please value that this person is actually trying to understand what you're trying to say.
And I guess if I am asking a question and I'm just shunned off like that, I'll just
Yeah,
stop listening to the person altogether because I'll feel
exactly.
like if you cannot, answer my question, why should I listen to you?
Exactly, exactly. That also happens. So I think it's a whole chain of just like
Right.
everything. So yeah. We have a lot of comments.
Yeah, yeah.
Guys. Yeah,
Right. Confidence level also increases from a group discussion. I think that's
for
quite
sure.
true.
That is very true. Yeah.
All right, we have a question. How to make any communication interesting?
Okay. A way of making communication interesting would be, if you want someone to pay attention to you, is definitely your voice modulation and tone and your body language. If you are a dull communicator and you know you're being boring, why would someone listen to you? Think of yourself as someone who is listening to someone else. Or that you're the listener and someone is speaking to you. The speaker is being very dull. Their tone is like, yeah, like for example, it's like, you know, they're not smiling, they're not making eye contact, they're like hunched over. It's just the worst form of communication. That's when people aren't going to be interested in you. The second, when you have a striking voice and you modulate your voice and your facial expressions go along with what you're saying, and you support your speaking with examples, little stories, um, you give a little emotion to when you're saying, like, for example, you're talking to someone and they're trying to say something funny to you and they start laughing itself. And then, there's this humor that is, created like this environment. It's such a nice experience, and a good form of communication. So if you want someone to be interested, definitely add these things to the way you speak. Yeah.
Right. Okay. All right. I think that's the
Yeah, I
that's
think
it.
that's, yeah. Okay. The next one, we have a lot of comments, but there's so many that aren't relevant, and we wish we could talk about it, but we cannot. Anyway, next next one is yes. Next one is try to feel what the speaker is feeling. All right, and that is the form. It's called empathy, right? So what do you think? So what are your opinions on empathy when it comes to communication?
I think it's really important. Like, for example, if I'm talking to a friend and they're telling me something very sad, something that has happened to them, because, in the past with Corona affecting all of us, I heard
Yeah.
quite a lot of sad news as well.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah.
empathy plays a very important role, especially in such situations, because if the other person is telling you something really saddening, you cannot be laughing here because
Yeah,
that will
exactly.
that
Exactly.
will come off as
Yeah.
rude and just it shows that you're not respectful towards them.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the best form of listening is to understand emotions as well. And a lot of people don't understand how, like, you can understand so much from just the tone of the speaker and their facial expressions. So listening doesn't only happen with the ears, it happens with your eyes as well. Like when you're looking at someone, that's why I said eye contact is very important. And empathy is something that you're applying your listening skills when you have empathy for someone, because you're taking the information that's been given to you and you're thinking about it and you're feeling what they're feeling. So I think that is the best form of listening for sure. All right, so definitely you guys, you should look into that, expressing empathy, feeling what the listener is saying. The next point that I'd like to talk about is to give the speaker regular feedback. This means that listening doesn't only happen in person, listening happens through telephones. Now, let's say you're having a conversation with someone and you're just silent. You're listening to them, but you're silent. What are they going to say to you? What is the first thing that people say when that happens? You're just dead
What I
silent.
say is, are you still there?
Exactly. Exactly. Are
Because
you still there? Are you listening? I say hello. Like I say hello 5 times. And they're like, oh yeah, I'm here. Why aren't you saying
right,
yeah, that's right. So that's when that's the form of listening communication. You're listening. But how do you know that the person communicating with you knows you're listening? They can't see your
right,
face. They can't,
right.
so you need to keep giving feedback. You need to say, uh-huh, ask questions, or, be like, yeah, that's right. That's right. Ananya keeps saying right. So Ananya's listening to me,
Right, right.
you know. So that's feedback while you're listening. And trust me, when you do that, your communication is going to get much better on the telephone, because I understand telephonic communication is a different game altogether when you don't know how to communicate. It really is.
Exactly.
So this is one tip for those also who
And I think
struggle with that.
with even the team meetings going on virtually right
Yeah.
now, when you're with your team in a professional setting, I think your leader or your manager, they expect some form of response, because
They do.
when there's just silence, they're going to start asking this only, that are you even here with me or not. And
Exactly, exactly.
I think when your manager is asking that, it becomes a little embarrassing, because
It
we
does,
were
it does.
listening, but
Yeah,
we
yeah, but we don't
couldn't.
say anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right, right,
Also in a video call, like for example, this live, whatever, if while the other person is speaking and I don't nod and I don't, express that, that I am listening. For example, you're on video call and you're just like, and you're just looking, you're listening, but you can't, the person can't tell if you're listening or not, you know? So
right.
definitely when you're on video calls with your bosses and whatever it is, nod when they're speaking to you and, show that if they make a good point, emphasize through your body language that you've received their point, very well. So that's something that's very important as well.
We have a question.
Yeah.
What to do if someone starts arguing while communicating?
I think arguments can be very heated, and I think everyone's been in that situation where we've got into arguments, and after the argument, you realize that it wasn't worth it. One thing that I've personally told myself during an argument, and I've tried to apply that in all the arguments that I've been, a part of, is you have to keep telling yourself not to get very angry, and you have to tell yourself that this is a temporary thing that's happening, so don't cross a line that you're definitely going to feel guilty afterwards, you're going to regret it. And it's, the things we do when we're angry, we aren't that person. I feel like we're different people when we're angry. So think of it, if you look at it in a way where you've made sense of what anger is, I think you can approach these situations in a very calm way. And when you are calm, the other person will eventually be calm. They're not crazy. They see that you're trying to be calm, so they will also be calm. So the second when someone starts arguing, tell yourself that, okay, I'm not going to cross a line. I'll put my point across, and I will listen to what they have to say, and we will communicate in that manner. Although don't take things to heart, because when people are angry, they say whatever they say. Like, they don't mean it, So that's one way of looking at these situations for sure.
I think we've all been there and
we have, yeah.
did that. But
Yeah.
I guess it's better to, even take some time off and then communicate with that person after a while, after you've calmed down.
Yeah, when you're calm.
Because, right.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another question. Many teachers also do not use intonation when they speak normally. Is it important while learning or after we learn?
I'm very confused on what intonation is. I'm very confused.
Intonation is the tone through which
okay, like the tone that they speak in. So they do not use intonation. They speak very normally. It's important while learning or after we learn. The intonation they speak very normally.
I think the answer to it would be you should always practice intonation. Otherwise, there will be a monotony in your communication only, because if you're happy and you're sounding like this, then it won't show that you're happy. So that's something that you need to practice on a regular basis, despite learning it later, because
right.
I think that's pretty much it. It's not something you learn later. It's something that you learn while you're learning.
Yes. All right. So the last point would be pay attention to what isn't said, and that is the non-verbal cues. So non-verbal cues is, reading between the lines. There's always, people will say something to you and they will communicate something, but the meaning of what they are saying is different, So how do we pick up on these non-verbal cues, and how do we learn? I think learning non-verbal cues would be try to communicate with as many people as possible. Try to watch a lot of English communication would be English TV shows, English movies, and you can tell different expressions and different meanings of different tones of people. Another thing is, yes, pick up your tone. Are they speaking a little differently than they usually speak? Are they excited? Are they angry? Are they sad? And someone could be very sad and you ask them if they're okay and they just say, I'm fine. And, you pick up on the fact that, even though I've listened to what she said she's fine. But am I listening to the non-verbal cues? Do you know what I'm saying? Definitely pay attention to the non-verbal cues. It's a part of listening, because you can hear it. You can hear the tone change. You can see the body language. And so it's very important. Yeah.
Right. I think we have another question, but it's not related to the session right now. So feel free to drop us a message about it. DM us, and our team will pick up on it, probably make a video on the very topic that's confusing for you, and we'll explain it to you in a simple manner. All right, so
I think we're at question. Okay.
Right.
Yes.
The question is, can we use a mix of Hindi and English while communicating?
It depends on the setting and it depends on who you're communicating with. If you're in English class, in a classroom, you can't use Hindi and English while communicating. My previous experience has also shown that in a Hindi class, if you speak in English, the teacher will very much yell at you and very much insult you and say, this is not
Right.
Angrezi CK. Like, this is just, so it depends. In a workplace, if you're, I feel like the more casual the relationship, the more languages you can use with someone. I think the more you know someone, you can mix between 10 languages and it's fine. Um, I think when you're talking to your boss, stick to English. And then when you have that communication where it's a little more casual, you can switch between English and Hindi. But officially, again, it depends on the organization, but the official language that I would suggest personally would be stick to English when you're in a professional setting. Yeah, while you're communicating. Yeah.
Okay.
I think this is the end of our questions. So guys, this was a really great session, and we have, I think 3 sessions a week or 4 sessions a week we do lives. So definitely stay tuned for those. I had a lot of fun, Ananya. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Coach. I'm sure that everybody who joined in, they learned something new today, and they're going to probably listen to the conversation in a much better manner now. And we had a lot of questions too, so I think that's great. Our audience was very engaging as well. And
Yes.
thank you so much, Coach, for this session. It was great having this
Thank you,
session with
Ananya.
you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you
Bye,
guys.
Coach.
Bye.